Yes, I'm Herman Rosa from Prisma, El Salvador. I'm glad to be meeting Alejandro again after some years. I think we are at a critical juncture here. I don't know if any of you were at the, late last night there was a meeting at the Poble, and one of the anthropologists there, who's actually with a group analyzing the dynamics of this Congress, one of the preliminary conclusions was that there are two things that clearly emerge here. On the one hand, in this particular Congress, the issue of indigenous rights and knowledge has risen. But on the other hand, market-based approaches are much stronger than they were, say, at Thailand, no? Yes. So how will these two things clash, and what would be the outcome would be interesting. Some years back, we were very worried about this emerging discussion on payment for environmental services, and we decided to do a Pan-American study with case studies in Brazil, Costa Rica, Mexico, and we have by the way, there is a synthesis in English in our website, which has in its cover a picture of the potato park. Because one of the issues that we wanted to raise was that we took issue with Daly's nature services concept of ecosystem services, no? Where she defines ecosystem services as those services provided by natural ecosystems. And so the importance of highlighting human-modified landscapes, and cultural landscapes, and that's why we thought the potato park was such a great example. And I think since we are in this dispute on discourses, it's important to see what we can take from the concepts that are going there. And the concept of ecosystem services, I think, it's an important one that we need to take up. We thought that, and in fact there is a little leaflet we have in Spanish that we say from payment for environmental services to compensation for ecosystem services. And in the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment definition, I think it's very important because provisioning services gives you an entry to all these issues of food sovereignty and so on. So I think it is important that we take up some of the concepts that are there and we reshape them rather than have a completely different language, where it might be difficult to have a conversation going. So if some of you are interested, we can, I think Susan has some leaflets there in Spanish, and there is a synthesis in English that is available in our website.
Okay, thank you very much, Herman. Obviously, there will be opportunities for one-to-one conversations after the close of this session. Marco, you had a point?
Yes. Okay, it looks like the more I attend workshops here, the more I see common threads for the peoples of this area. The more I see common threads for the people of this area, and it looks like what we see today is not really new. It is part of the usual and known process of commoditation. We had commoditation on labor last century. We had commoditation on land. What we have now, we have commodification of nature. And what is really striking is the degree, the aggressive path of this new wave of expansion. And this is taking place such a rate which probably was not seen for long in the process of expansion of capitalism, and is really giving threats. To me, I can see it even from the point of view of the research I'm making now, and I see communities, peoples that are really caught into the two, on the two sides, as it was mentioned, as you mentioned earlier, Michelle mentioned earlier, they are really caught between national parks managed in a exclusionary pattern that exclude the people, push the people out. On the other side, on the small remaining land, there is now agrofuel expanding at the part that will destroy the community, no doubt. So, what possibilities are there to, if there's any, to deal with this? And I think, because a new expansion is based on the elaboration of conceptual tools of which ecosystem services is one expression, is based on, first of all, imposing a discourse on others, and this is done using institutions like the IIED. Then the counter-discourse of human rights and food sovereignty seems to me a very fundamental tools to counteract this. But let me also take a second point, that we should also see what are the forces which are behind this fast path, this fast expansion, this new way. Yeah, the new force seems to me that, at least for what I can see, is in some cases not, but in some cases, in many cases, definitely the expansion of agrofuel. And in this sense, I also think that I should recall that there is a motion on agrofuel that is going to be discussed, and I think we have here one of the promoters that perhaps it's good if she can give an announcement about that.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much, Marco. I see that the presentations have, stimulated our intellectual juices, but a lot of you want to talk. So can I simply ask you to be very brief, knowing that there will be opportunities to talk outside of this room? Who's next? I think you were, I don't know your name, so maybe you could introduce yourself. Yes?
Edward.
Do you want to come up, Edward?
Thank you. My name is Edward from Tanzania, and I don't know whether mine is a question or it's kind of sharing of this information. In the local community in my country, which is Tanzania, there is a lot of ongoing denying of local community rights on food and agriculture. We have global marketings in my country, like we have now very, very big shop from South African investors in very close market, in a very close local market in Arusha called Kilombero. And they buy local product from that local market. They take it to their shop, they wash them, they repack again and say and give out some other words that this is our onion, potatoes, and oranges from South Africa. And that is, I think, is a denying of the local community rights. And I don't know how does the international partners can advocate for this. And another thing, it is the issue of Jetrofa. Now, biofuel, it's now a new term which is introducing to many local communities in Africa, especially my country in Tanzania. And this is totally going to take out the local community land, and also, even if you harvest the Jetrofa, you will have Jetrofa. But what happens if you have money and you have no food to buy? Again, it is another thing that is in danger for local community in food security. Thank you.